Hi fashion lovers, welcome to my channel, and today it is this strapless wrap gown. This is a wrap short gown that we'll be making in this video. If it is what you are interested in, please subscribe to the channel. Guys, we post videos every day of different styles, how to go about cutting them, sewing them. So make sure you're a subscriber, so when we post video, all right, you get notified immediately. And please make sure to like this video. All right, now for this particular style wrap gown, this is my calculation: shoulder 16, bust 36, waist 28, hip 38, half length is 16, and gown length is 36. Now you already know how we do it on this channel. We need our calculation. We don't just go and start marking. No, we need to do the calculation so we know what we are marking, what we are folding. All right, so my bust, waist, hip I divided by 4, and my after division, my bust gave me 9, my waist gave me 7, and my hip gave me 9.5, and I added 2 inches. Why did I go for 2 inches? This particular gown, looking at it, no much dart on it. The highest dart on it is a waist dart, if there is a waist dart. All right, but that does not mean you cannot put a princess dart there. You can actually use a princess dart for more fitting if you choose to. Okay, so first thing first, you get your pattern paper. All right, you know how we do it. Now when you get your pattern paper, you open it up. If it is your fabric you're cutting direct, fold your fabric into 2. Now, what do you fold? First thing is your wrap allowance. I will advise you cut this on pattern paper first, then you plate it on fabric and cut. The first thing when you get your pattern paper, this pattern paper is not folded into 2, it's just open. It's just one pattern paper. I opened it up, not folded. All right, the first thing is your wrap allowance. That is the first thing you are to mark. And what are you to mark? You mark between 5 to 7. That is what. But for this video, I'm marking 7 because I want it to be able to wrap properly. All right. You are marking between 5 to 7. But for this video, what my wrap allowance is 7 inches. That is the first thing to mark on this tile. How do I this style is like when you have a zip at the front. When you're trying to mark it, what you do, you put your zip first, zip allowance first. So our 7 inches wrap allowance first. Okay, now once you have gotten it, before you start marking any other thing, now the first thing we need to do is, this is a strapless. All right, and because I do not want to start from the shoulder and start cutting out, I will put my tape ahead. Look at how I put my tape. My tape is 4 inches ahead. You see it, my tape went away from the pattern paper by 4 inches. Then I started marking. The first line is my armhole depth, which is 8. The second line is my half length, which is 16. The third line is my hip line, which is 25, and the fourth line is my gown length, which is 36. Remember, I placed my tape 4 inches ahead. You see what I did? Then I started. Now what I'm doing right now is just trying to get the line straight perfectly well. But bear in mind, what is that 4 inches ahead? That 4 inches ahead is like strap. So it is that strap, or the rope, okay, or the bias on the shoulder. That is what that 4 that I took off is. So after you must have marked them, now this is my bust, waist, hip, and this is my gown length. It's more like our basics, but the first thing is you have already taken the wrap part, the part that will be on top each other. All right, now having gotten to this extent, the next thing is start marking your basic measurement. For this, I'll be marking my bust and my sewing allowance, my waist and my sewing allowance. Remember, my bust is 9 plus 2, my waist is 7 plus 2, My hip is 9.5 plus 2. Now I went for plus 2, not that you cannot go for plus 3. Now if you're using a princess dart, which I'll be showing you at the end of this video how to mark the dart, you can go for 3 inches, but I went for 2 inches. That 2 inches is my sewing allowance in case I decide to, put a little dart at the back of the dress. Now there is a belt on this. That belt has already given us, will be the one to give us that fitting. That is why I did not consider that. There is a belt on it, and when you have belt to tie on something, it gives it fitting, remember. All right, so once you have done that, the next thing you do is you connect. Now you can either go for your hip, you can either go for your make it pencil, or you make it straight. Whichever one you choose to do is still okay. All right, now this is where we are. Now if you're still watching, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. All right, now once you have gotten to this extent, you're almost there. You come up here, just like I'm measuring, you measure 4. You are either to measure between 4 to 5 inches. Okay, I measured 4 and 5. Okay, you are to measure between 4 and 5 inches. All right, be at that point. Okay, 4 or 5 inches. Once you measure it, the next thing is to curve. If you're going for any one of them, curve from there. You see how I curved it. Okay, now once you have gotten to this extent, you next thing is come at your waist. See, if you're drafting, you're looking at the style. Look at the style very well. You can see right at the waist is where that belt is, and after the waist it is straight. Okay, so at this point, these 2 points that I just connected, all right, at the wrap, you can see how I place the rule this way, slant it. Okay, yes. Now why did I stop at the waist? Look at the style. From the waist where the belt was straight. All right, from the strapless bias part slanted to the waist. So I curved it in. It's matter of choice if you choose to curve yours. It's not compulsory you curve. Okay, now at the down part, I just connected this straight down. How do I explain this? Every style needs to be interpreted, understood before cutting. That is the easiest way in fashion. All right, now I don't want this K effect on this dress because there is belt on it, so I don't need this K effect at all. So I'm using my French curve, to take out all the sharp edges, especially at the waist and hip. All right, now this is what we have so far. All right, this is our pattern. Now having gotten this, it's looking like what is on the picture already. It is. All right, now you say, why did I stop at the waist for that slant? The slanting on the style stopped at the waist. Immediately after the belt, you can watch the dropping is the down part was straight. So I followed what is on the picture. Okay, now so this is it. All right, this is our first pattern. The next thing now is for us to cut the patterns, cut them out. Okay, then we'll get the original measurements we need. As a beginner, for you to cut this style, please, if you will not be putting that, you can go with 2 inches. But if you be putting that, you want yours to have that, any kind of that, French that, princess that, waist that, please go with 3 inches. Your sewing allowance, you can always shape it up by the side. Okay, but if you are not going to put any that, you can work with 2 inches. You can even work with 1 inches. Okay, so on the slanted part is what we have left to cut. Now I will be going with this curved part. Okay, good, this is it. Now this is our basic pattern for our dress. The first part is ready. All right, this is it needs to be two. This piece needs to be two, exactly the way it is. It needs to be two. Okay, and first thing, before cutting the second one, I would like to cut my back. Now you know how I always go for the easiest way to cut it, so I'm folding the wrap allowance, okay, this way. This will be my, I will use this the way it is to trace my back pattern. All right, now the back pattern, there's no zip, there's no button, there is no opening at the back, so this is folded into two. Okay, then you already know the back starts from the armhole length, armhole depth. If you want it to go down more, you can always recurve your armhole. Okay, this is where the armhole starts from for the back, so I just need it to be the same length with the back. The waist, hip, and bust are the same. Okay, so I just need it to be on the same line, then I will cut. This is the easiest way to get the back of this pattern, this dress. This is the easiest way. You don't need to start marking, start afresh to mark and all the rest. This is the easiest way you get your back. All right, I always like to do this way, especially when I don't have time to start marking from the beginning, mark this, I just go this way. It makes it for very much easy and safe at the same time. All right, now I've gotten my back. Okay, you already know the back is strapless. So I've achieved the back. Okay, so I just need to take it off. First, let's indicate my back part. All right, then what is next? We need the front part. Remember I said the front will be two. Okay, this is the front. Now what I need to do is place the front exactly and cut. When cutting this pattern, I did not fold it. Remember I said it earlier. Now the initial pattern was just one pattern. All right, and we need that particular pattern in two. So you can see what I did is open it up the way it is. I'm tracing it out in another pattern paper. Now if it is for fabric, this first pattern on the brown that we have cut in, what I just need to do is place it on the fabric, fold the fabric into two, place it, you can see how open I spread it this way on the fabric and cut. You need to get this particular pattern two piece, the way it is, the wide, how wide it is, everything need to be in two piece. Okay, so when you're cutting it on the fabric, you just fold into two and cut. I'm cutting it on the pattern paper. That is why I got another pattern paper to trace this out. Now having gotten this, okay, having gotten this is it. My front pattern is now two, which is meant to be. Okay, so let's place it front, back, and see if we are on the right track. All right, so let's see if we are on the right track. This is our back. Okay, this is our back pattern. We need to get the front and place it. This is the front, the one part of the front. Remember the front will have to be two. This is my other part of the front. Okay, I love how I used white. It makes it more visible to know that it's wrap. Now this is it. Okay, let's arrange this properly so you get to see it very well. Good. Now it's looking more like it. Just what is on the picture. What else is needed is just for us to put the rope. All right, but I would like this one to be at the down, then let this be at the front. Okay, because of all the markings, so you still get to see the markings. Now, having gotten this, remember this zip allowance, wrap allowance is between 7 to 5 inches. Now, what determines what you use? Now, if you decide to go for that, you can have a French dart. Yeah, sorry, a princess dart. You know how we mark our princess dart? You can have it, but it's only this part of it that there will be. This part of the wrap, there is no, you can't put that there. The part of the 7 inches, there should not be any wrap there. Any dart, sorry, there. You can work with French dart, sorry, princess dart. You can work with waist dart on this part of the dart, the part that I just marked the dart. Now, cutting this, the next thing is for us to attach our bias or our rope. Now, let's come to the area of finishing. What are the ways I can do, finish this dress? You can finish this dress facing, one of the ways. Second way is biasing. Okay, whichever one is easy for you, you go ahead. It still looks perfect. Facing or biasing. All right. Now, having added the straps, the rope to the tips, you can see it. Let's position it very well so you get to see it very well. Now, this is it. This particular place is where you add your rope, the belt. Okay, you come here. The belt has to be long. If you watch the dress, it's tieable, it gives you that drop. So you should cut enough belt, and the size is your choice, big, small. Here should have a belt. Okay, one. This is where you should have a belt. All right, this at the waist line, there should be a belt there. Now, it's looking more like it. We'll still get to the details of the places that belt should be and where you should sew and where you should not sew. But first, this is what we have gotten, all we have been doing. This is where we are right now. And to you, what do you think? Let me know on the comment section. Did we get it right? Is it giving us what is on the picture? Is it giving? Let me know if it's giving. All right. So let's explain about the belt. How do we go about the belt? The places where the belt should be. Here is one of them. This place, there should be a belt here. All right. And the second place there should be a belt is inside. Let me open it up. All right. Take this out completely. There are two places there should be a belt. All right. I've showed you the first one. The next belt should come here. You see where I'm pinning it? That is where the next belt should come. And this belt will have to pass through between, you see, though when I'll put this pattern paper back, you get to see it. This is where you put your belt. This is the second place you put your belt. So these are the two places the belt came, right? Now from here, when you go back, you put it this way. Now when it's time to sew, you need to leave space. Okay, you need to leave space in this part of the belt, the dress. Let's say you join this fabric together here. Let me zoom it clearly. This is your to sew. Stop here. Sew all these parts. Stop here. You see this plate I circled? There should be an opening for this belt to pass through. There should be an opening for this belt to pass through. That is why I placed this belt to pass through. Now, this part, there should not be any opening. Sew all through. There should be no single opening. No opening. On this part, small opening. Let me zoom it. Small opening. Get me? This small opening is where that belt in the white part of it passes through and comes out to the back or through to the front. to the side where it will now drop. So this particular belt that passed through the small opening, so you can see the back of this dress. It went back. You see it? That is why and it came to the front. So the back belt needs to be long.